presidents to represent me. I'm out for presidents to represent me. I'm out for presidents to represent me. I'm out for presidents to represent me.
Who wanna bet us that we don't touch letters, stack cheddars?
Presidents to represent me. I'm out for presidents to represent me. I'm out for presidents to represent me.
Ovi baby.
Presidents to represent me.
Who wanna bet us that we don't touch letters, stack cheddars forever? Live treacherous, all the etceteras. To the death of us, me and my confidence.
Y'all hear him?
Shine. You feel the ambiance, y'all niggas just rhyme.
Jay-Z got everything on fire right now.
We illuminate the whole show. You feel me? Vengeance from the other side would love to kill me.
Y'all see the name of the title, Reasonable Doubt, y'all. I think that was his best body of work. If you ask me, Reasonable Doubt may have been his best body of work because I think that was in the earlier stages. I think he been in rap probably since the early 90s, late 80s, trying to get in the game. But when he hit with Reasonable Doubt, it was the perfect storm. I think he had Biggie on that one too. Friend or foe, if I ain't mistaken. But let's get to this introduction right quick, man. Y'all on the Let's Get To It show, and that's a tour with a you, because I always got you in mind, so keep that in mind. Oh, yeah, if you don't mind. And I am King Sam, the people's champ, flying all the way off. I'm climbing up the turnbuckle to the top rope, and I'm flying through the air with an elbow trying to hurt something. Y'all know what it is. I'm back at it again. Hey, yo. Last night, I ain't even know it. I ain't hear nothing about it. I seen a couple things across my timeline. It had images of Jay-Z with the wild fro like Ab Soul. I ain't never see Jay-Z with a wild fro. He had them big crazy dreads for a minute. But then, you know, I started hearing more that he was dissing people. He was going crazy, taking shots. He did a little diss freestyle. I ain't think nothing of it. Then I got up this morning and I tap in with this dude named Gully TV. He the dribble, y'all. If you need information, I think sometimes he bring information before anybody else get their hands on it. Sometimes he create his own message because that's how tapped in he is. And Big Ant, the spokesperson, or for urban politicians. Hey, they was giving it to you. Both of them came from different angles. They both covered it and kind of pulled me up. I went in, checked out some of their videos, did my own research, and got to listen to the freestyle. Now I want to break this down in segments because if y'all know Jay-Z, y'all know he a billionaire. He fill up, he filthy. He got that bag, y'all. And he one of the people that he still got his bag. Because you got people like Dame Dash that used to be attached to him. They split Rockefeller. I think it was a backdoor deal. I don't know exactly what happened. I think Def Jam and the execs got with Jay-Z because they couldn't communicate how they wanted to with Dame Dash. But like I was saying, Jay-Z still got the bag. You know, they taking people with that bag down sometime when they coming for my culture. You know, they took Sean Combs down, P. Diddy. And there's a list of others that I think done fell through the cracks like that. I remember one time Dave Chappelle was the man. Next thing you know, he got torn apart. And it like is a litany. Our battlefield little with, you know, people that were of certain stature that, you know, at some point they just fall off and fall into oblivion. But let me give you some backstory on Jay-Z, and then I'm going to get into the freestyle and all that stuff. All right, Jay-Z, part of Rockefeller, it was 3 people, him, Kareem Biggs, and Dame Dash. At some point, they fell out. I think Dame Dash and Jay-Z, they didn't really have a beef, but they had differences in how they had their business visions set up. one was going this way, the other was going this way, so I think they parted ways. You can hear Jay say, man, make another me. You know, if you feel like you made me, make another me. And over the years, you know, you had people come out and speak out against Jay-Z. A lot of it. Now, I'm not the biggest Jay-Z fan in the world. I respect his work. I respect what he laid down because he's been consistent. He's been a major figure in the entertainment business. And, like, he's unparalleled. He's unparalleled in what he does and what he's achieved in business, in the entertainment business, in music, in rap, as far as how he pushed the culture in a certain direction. You can't take that away. You can't take the man's genius away. You can't take his ability to create good music away. You can't take his power moves and how he was always millenniums ahead of everybody. And I wanted to tip my hat to him, but like I'm gonna get back into the beginning of it. It was him, Kareem Biggs, and Dame Dash. They fell out. And at the time, he was a part of State Property. Now, State Property was Beanie Siegel, Owen Sparks, Oskino, Chris and Neve, and Petey Crack, if I ain't mistaken, and Memphis Bleak. Those were the artists. I want to say, I don't think Emil was a part of State Property. He had Emil before, so she wasn't a part of State Property. So it was them. And, you know, after the split, State Property, the members of State Property, which is Beans, Owen Sparks, and Chris Anif, and Petey Crack, and Freeway, that's what the last artist, Freeway, they kind of just dissolved. I think they was still making, you know, music sparingly, but they kind of dissolved. Beanie Siegel, he was kind of like the face of State Property because Jay-Z was really considered Rockefeller, and, you know, he had his label, which was State Property, up under him, and, you know, Beanie Siegel, Beanie Mac, he was the face of that Broad Street Bully. I think he started getting in trouble, was in trouble before, you know, his music actually took hold, and, you know, he had an old case that kind of walked him down. He wound up getting locked up. I think something happened. I don't know if his pops, something happened to his pops or something like that. And I think he wound up getting, if I ain't mistaken, shot in the neck or something like that. So it kind of, I think it crushed his vocals, and, you know, he don't even rap the same. So since then, you know, it ain't really been no State Properties. You know, people love the music. Like, some of their music is classic. Some of them songs that they drop is like all-time classics. So, you know, you'll still hear the music. It's still commercialized. And, of course, with Jay-Z being who he is, you know, that makes people gravitate to that music even more. Now, since then, you know, everybody from State Property, Rockefeller, besides Jay-Z, they done kind of, you know, been going through it. Take them through there. They've been took through there, man. You done had Beans. He done got beat up by Teefy Bay. Going at it with Meek Mills. Dame Dash teeth done fell out his mouth. Skino, he doing a little podcasting right now, but, you know, he been going through his ups and downs. Freeway, I think he got sick for a minute. I think Freeway's son passed. I think Skino's son passed. And, you know, Chris and Neef, I ain't really hear nothing from them. I don't know what they doing. Peter Crack, I ain't really hearing nothing from none of them. So, you know, certain members were very critical of Jay-Z. You know, Bean said what he had to say. His main problem was like, man, it feel like they left me for dead and I ain't really get no closure. He ain't really speak ill about Jay-Z, but he let it be known that, you know, man, what did I do? What happened? You know, why go this way? Why ain't, you know, I don't want nothing of material value. I just want some closure to it. So, you know, I think they've been in conversations because Memphis Bleak, that's one of Jay-Z's people that he helped raise when he was a young youth, because I think he like, I want to say maybe 7 to 10 years older than Memphis Bleek. So, you know, he had Memphis Bleek under him when he was a kid and kind of raised him up and, you know, was a major figure in his life. So, you know, everybody had something to say. Dame Dash was talking crazy. You had another dude, he wasn't part of State Property, but D Haven, he was on the tail. You got Choke No Joke talking crazy. I heard Sparks, he ain't really talk crazy about him. He was just saying, you know, what his contributions was and that he's still able to make music. So it wasn't no Rockefeller State Property reunions. Nobody thought that was on a nobody had that in their vision board. Ain't nobody think it was happening because it was a lot of words and a lot of antagonizing going on. Then you had people like Drake poking the bear. You had Future poking the bear. Nicki Minaj poking the bear. Jaguar White talking crazy. Everybody was out there, you know, throwing dirt on the man name. So, like I said, I ain't the biggest Jay-Z fan. I'm just here giving to you what I seen. So then, you know, up pops this Root show, and out of nowhere, Jay-Z did a pop-up show. And not only did he do a pop-up show, he brought out State Property. Not all the members. I didn't see Sparks, and I didn't see Oskino, and I didn't see Dame Dash nowhere. But they had Beans up there. That's Beanie Siegel. They had Freeway up there. They had Chris and Neef up there. And they had Petey Crack up there. And then, like, it was nostalgia. It took me right down memory lane. It took me right there. Put me back in the place. And I was like, you know what? It made me look at it different. And I was like, man, that was great. So then I was watching more, doing more research. And then I came across the freestyle that I was hearing about. And he was going ham. He talked real crazy to Nicki Minaj and her boyfriend with the pedophile background he got. He talked crazy about Future, talking about, man, you mad at me when you fun with your baby mama. He talked about Oskino stuttering all the time. He talked about Jaguar, right? The way she be spreading rumors and all that stuff. He talked about the lawyer Busby that was acting like he wanted to pull something on him. Hey, man, trying to throw him in he was trying to throw him in the Sean Combs bag with the P. Diddy bag and give him one of them cases. And I think Jay-Z was a step ahead. He took an offensive measure and he went after him with his lawyers. So they deaded that before they even got in the ocean. And he struck back and said something to Drake and was talking about, you don't even own your publishing. So Jay just went crazy. And you know, I ain't never heard Jay dedicate that much time. He'll usually give you a half a bar. Like, man, like he said, what the F is 50 Cent? That's Jay. That's like I think he gave Nas some action when they had that battle. Hey, that was the most I seen him directing his arsenal of lyrics at one person when he dissing one person. But then with this, he just went crazy. The whole freestyle, slow walking, talking crazy to him, and it was dope. I appreciate it from a spectator or somebody who's watching. I appreciate it because not only do it revive what rap is about, you know, displaying your lyrical talents, it also showed Jay-Z do listen. He do hear. He not secluded and isolated off. He do think about things and he do let things ponder on his mind because he did collect up State Property. Because he could have easily did that by himself and nobody wouldn't have said nothing to him. But I think they was in Philly because it was a Roots concert, festival type of thing. And I think some calls was made and he went and handpicked the people that wasn't so crazy and wasn't so, you know, talking so ill of him. in the periods that he ain't say nothing. And this was his response, and I think he did a great job. That was dope. That was some, content, because here we is talking about it. He got the internet on fire right now. Yesterday, it was a major event going down. We always be having cookouts in Newport News, especially in the downtown area. It was Ray Day on a Ray, and they had the block like on smash. I ain't even know it was Ray Day yesterday. I ain't even know. I ain't really hear nothing about it. I seen everybody posting, everybody was there. The joint looked lit. I ain't hear about no shootouts or nothing. Won't no people disrespecting each other's person. Everybody was, focused. It was some legends in there, some big time names that, I ain't seen in a long time. Ain't like, man, and I ain't go. I wasn't probably in a position to go. I was relaxing, resting up, getting ready for the day to do this content. But, man, it looked like I'm going to try to make the next one. But I'm about to wrap this up, y'all. I just wanted to talk about that, man. And I appreciate what Jay-Z did, man. Hove, like I said, I ain't the biggest Rockefeller fan, but I like how he, he's still putting on for the culture, man. He done did more than enough. He done did, I say probably, currently, he probably the longest lasting person that's still having an impact on the music industry right now. He like the LeBron James of this thing. He been in it for longer than LeBron James. So with that, I'm about to wrap it up, man. I just wanted to come through, man. Here I come to save the day, the underdog, man. The people's champ, King Sam. Flying, I flew off the top rope and I hit you with the elbow so hard it hurt you now. And this, let's get to it. And that's a tour with you, because I always got you in mind. So keep that in mind if you don't mind.
Presidents to represent me. I'm out for presidents to represent me. I'm out for presidents to represent me. I'm out for presidents to represent me.
Who wanna bet us that we